We are going to start the public portion of our meeting at 6:24, and we'll begin with the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
So at this time, I will open it up to any public comment. If there's anybody online or in the audience that would like to come to the podium. Okay, so item 184, consideration of a poverty abatement application. We are going to take no action at this time. Item 185, consideration of the following orders. Can you hear me okay on this? Good, okay. So order 2024-12 to replace the totaled 2020 police cruiser with a 2024 police cruiser purchased using funds from the insurance claim on the 2020 cruiser plus monies from the assigned fund balance.
So after consulting with our auditor, you have a new copy of this before you. We put in there an amount, and again, that's for auditing purposes, of not to exceed $30,000. We don't think it's going to be close to that, but just to provide a little bit of a cushion.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? All in favor, thank you. And order 2024-13 to fund $88,195 from the assigned fund balance from capital reserves for the initial 50% payment on the LED lighting conversion to be replenished with efficiency main rebates and potentially a community resilience partnership grant. Go ahead.
So we discussed this a couple different ways. We're going to use it from that, I guess you wrote it there, but we were also talking about ARPA funds too, weren't we? Or
Not for this project. That was for the heat pumps.
okay, thank you.
So is there
I
a,
move to approve order 2024-13 to fund $88,195 from the assigned fund balance to the capital reserves for initial 50% payment on LED lighting conversions to be replenished with efficiency main rebates and potentially a community resilience partnership grant.
Second.
So I will also note that we did submit that grant application last week.
is there any other discussion? All in favor? All are in favor? Thank you. Item 186, discussion of security cameras at Norcross Point, and I believe that this was coming back up as a request to discuss the potential options.
Yeah, so you will recall that I mentioned to you folks a couple of meetings ago about a $3,000 grant that we could get from the Maine Municipal Association risk reduction. And we looked at potentially offsetting some of the cost of security cameras at Norcross Point with this. The cost of those would be nearly $7,000. And so you had some questions at that time, I think, most about the effectiveness and the sturdiness of those cameras. So I've invited Chief Ferland here to answer any questions that you may have in that regard.
One of the problems is, I don't think we have any solid lighting poles to put them on. We're out of shape over there.
Hi, Paul. How you doing? Thanks for coming up. Paul, can you describe to us what the system would look like and what it entails?
The system that Bill looked into, he looked into two different systems. These would be sort of in the cloud system, so everything's live feed from down there. They would be mounted, would have one mounted facing the gazebo and another one on the entrance facing vehicles coming and going, and also shoots down onto the launch area. They'd be installed about 16 feet off the ground. So the concern of them being stolen is minimized by.
Go ahead. Well, with that, what's the radius so that coming in? So and if it's at 16 feet, what's the image quality? Are we going to get, you'll be able to get a plate number coming in and out of there? Or?
The specific ones we're looking at, they have the zoom features. They also, you can sit in dispatch and rotate them around so you can see
Yep.
from any angle.
With Infinity Lighting coming in and upgrading the system, you had made mention from a motion in February to get additional lighting on Lake Shore Drive. Could they put a pole down there, light down at North Cross Point? Then you
Yeah,
could-
and I know Bruce is part of the LED lighting conversion. There is some lighting that's included in that at Norcross Point, so we just have to sort of see where that is in relation to where the cameras would be. But to answer your question, yes, additional poles and lighting could be added.
That would answer your question, Andy. Put it up higher. Yeah, nobody's gonna hang tennis shoes off.
Well, I think that some of this would be probably, I don't hear this at all, but would be solved with the fact that there's a cloud-based probably function and you can go back. You'll be able, this will be stored to a certain period of time, right?
Correct.
And then how, because what I would like to see is it kind of become more of a incorporated into a program where we actually look to expand the use. Would it be easy to add into other places and integrate into this system here, do you think, moving forward?
I believe it would. You just have to pay additional licensing fees.
Okay,
To do
so it's
that.
licensing, okay.
Yep.
Because I think in the future, I think this would be probably, see how this works out, obviously, and then, whether we add something in the future on Main Street or even on critical intersections or something like that, so they can keep an eye and see what the weather or traffic, a whole bunch of different things that it could be utilized for, I would think, and hope, moving forward.
Our main concern down there has been the vandalism that has occurred over the past 2-3 years. It's just,
And then
Lots of
anything we
sites.
end up doing at the beach, maybe, further down that way might be important too. Remember when that?
Are these cell-based or are these based off like, are you gonna put like a Wi-Fi router down there and
of the two different systems, one's falls under one of those and another one falls under the other. The one we're looking at is the upgrade and it would be cell-based.
So the cost, what I'm understanding is we can get a grant maybe for 3, and then the cost is 7. And then is the subscription cost must be X, right? If it's cell phone based,
Correct.
what's that per month?
I honestly can't answer that.
Okay.
What I instructed Bill to do is to look at the best possible option that we could get for clarity, megapixels. And that's what he did. And that's what that price is based on. I mean, you can zoom in and read a license plate 200-300 feet away with these.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
So we're not really looking for a motion tonight, just some direction. And so if you guys are comfortable with what Chief Ferland has explained to you, then when the application process opens up for this grant, we'll apply for it. And I think it's pretty well assured if you apply for these grant monies, you will get them. But once we have those in hand, then we'll execute the
I think
purchase.
it's worthwhile investigating. Yeah. Please apply.
Soon do this.
I mean, the whole cost of this project, I'm sure we probably spent more than that repairing the bathrooms last year.
Yeah, well, and we've stopped doing a lot of the wood repairs down there because
It's because, yeah, sure.
they're very short-lived.
I want to stop.
Is this something that we can do like with the idea of the vandalism in mind and the potential of the cameras being a target? Will one camera see the view of
The other.
the other camera? Essentially, a camera seeing a camera.
You can, because if dispatch sees there's something going on, they can move those cameras in any angle, any direction to see what's going on. So, I mean, you're talking 360-degree view from both cameras.
Now, do these do any sort of like AI tracking of anything near them?
No. No,
Okay.
it's all controlled from the dispatch center.
You know, something.
The only reason I ask is I just put cameras up to my camp just this weekend. And, you know, I bought some cameras. They weren't a whole lot of money. They got,
See what you're saying.
they actually have the feature. Well, they send you an alert that somebody's there, which of course you wouldn't want necessarily an alert every time somebody walks by the camera. But every time that somebody walks by the camera at my camp, it actually grabs them and the camera follows them wherever they go. So that, you know, if there's, you know, motion nearby, it focuses on the motion and it will pick up motion that's not even in, like if the camera's looking to the left, say, and there's motion to the right, it will pick up motion to the right and zoom the camera right over on it.
I can't say for 100%, but I believe Bill had mentioned something about that ability, but I don't want to
I'll
say
show you
100% sure.
after the meeting. I'll show you what this does. It's pretty slick and it's not very expensive.
Anthony or Chief, what's the deadline for the risk reduction grant?
So the bad news is that the grant application doesn't open up until like the fall. So we got some time. Wish it was sooner because literally it's like a one-page application. It would take you maybe what, like Chief, 10 minutes to fill it out, if that. So it's very simple. The MMA wants towns to make use of these funds.
Fall of 25?
Yeah.
We actually had last year a $3,000 MMA risk reduction grant that allowed us to put side lighting on the cruisers.
Looks good.
Yeah.
Saw it in the parade.
Mm.
All right.
Well, that's a question. Given the current infrastructure, given the town, would be more than by the town.
You can mount them on a tree, you can mount them to the side of the building.
We,
Leaves go all the way.
Bill had the vendor go down and came up with some suggestions on camera placement with utilizing what's already down there.
Well, we've got plenty of time, so thank you, Chief.
Thank you.
All right. Moving on to item 187, consideration of disbursement warrants.
I move to approve the disbursement warrants as presented.
Any discussion?
Yeah, I'll just point out some things that I was looking at. Pretty much only, well, I don't even know if my mic is working, but at any rate, test. I don't think it is. But I just saw that we had paid for the elevator project to the tune of $80,449.16. So I just wanted to put it on our radar to see how that came in as far as what we had allocated.
Well, first of all, you're stealing my thunder.
Oh, sorry.
For the town manager's report.
Okay, well then, to be continued. All
Okay.
right, I'll vote.
No.
Anything else? All in favor? All in favor, thank you. Item 188, consideration of recommendations from the Appointments Committee.
We don't have any appointment, recommendations for the appointments committee.
Okay, so none. Moving on to other business, public comment. Is there anyone in the audience or online that would like to step up and speak?
No one's online.
Okay, we will move to the town manager's report.
So let's talk about the library elevator. So that project is, for all intents and purposes, done. There's still some trim work that needs to occur. It's not yet operational because first it has to be inspected by a state inspector, and there are only 2 of those in the entire state of Maine. And this is the library elevator. And so we were told a week ago that it'd probably be a month when the inspector is here. So hopefully, knock on wood, we'll see that in 3 weeks or so. To answer your question, Aaron, about the cost. So and we had come to this determination, I think I mentioned it to you once before, that the project, we're not going to have to expend any extra dollars, but we are going to have to expend dollars from the library capital reserve that we had hoped to use on drainage issues. And so now the plan is to instead address that in hopefully FY26.
Okay, that's good.
Otherwise, oops, hold on, someone just tuned in online. Otherwise, our GA administrator has drafted an agreement with the recovery homes that would require them to return any unused funds back to the town. So say, for instance, Judy approves 2 weeks worth of rent for someone and that person leaves after 1 week, the recovery home would then have to return that to us. we had Phil Socher review it and he blessed it. And so we have put that into practice straight away. No, no. So two other quick things. So our finance director, Nick Poole, is here. He's been working very diligently on the school budget, working very closely with the superintendent and the rest of the administrators. So that process is well underway. And next month is when we will start working on our departmental budgets, just to give you a very brief update of the budgeting process. The light was erected, I think, on Friday in front of the White Duck. So that street light is now there, and drove by there a little earlier today, and you can tell it's brand new. And then lastly, just a reminder that we have the town Christmas party at 5 p.m. on Friday at Tricksters, which used to be Sisters Pizza. And so you guys are all invited. 5 p.m.
What if we didn't RSVP?
If you RSVP to me right now, we'll get you on the list.
Go
Is
ahead,
that
you'll
Friday?
be there.
And what time?
I'm working.
5 p.m.
I'll be there.
Okay. Are you +1?
Yep.
All right, good.
So,
Yes, sir.
So, Anthony, thank you. And you mentioning something, you sent out an email, and I just want to follow up on it. Maybe it's not appropriate time, but before I forget it, about the engine brakes,
The what?
the engine brake signs that Mr. Blanchard was referring to, talking about.
Yes.
Where did we wind up with that? Because,
Kevin has ordered those from the company that we order signs from. It's called White Signs.
okay,
So as soon as we receive those, we'll install.
it's just a recommendation. There's no ordinance.
Right.
Correct. Okay. I just want to make sure that we were still on that page.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right. Again, I don't know if you can hear me, but so I was just going to mention that I've been watching some of the school board meetings and paying attention to the fact that Lion Electric Company clearly has some fiduciary issues within their own company, and wanted to put it out on the record, that we need to probably be paying attention to this, making sure that if they do intend to pay the school district back, that we get it in writing, and just maybe get an update from the superintendent on that situation. There are already the Attorney General's office has already started investigating this program, so there are things ongoing that we can tap into as leverage. I would think, as far as the EPA, if they start pushing back, saying they'll make us pay back for not using the buses, I think that's not going to happen. But yeah, so I would say we should keep a very close eye on what's happening.
Becky was at a Lions meeting the other night to talk about the buses, and she said they had one bus that was operational, so they put Peter Nielsen in it. He got halfway through his route, and he got a red light and had to pull over and get another bus.
So I'm
So,
very
you know,
concerned about this, and I
Oh.
want very close, that the town on the municipal side also be paying very close attention. And if we have to start making formal inquiries, then we should start doing it.
agree.
anything from any other counselors? Okay, well, at this time, I just want to take a moment to acknowledge one of our counselors and his last meeting, unless we have a surprise between now and the end of the year. So our counselor, Bruce Burns, we just want to thank you for your service on the council. He has been serving with us, working with the police departments on the brainstorming of merging the departments. He has served in the last year as a vice chair and has gratefully, he has stepped into my position for the absences that I've had. And he's done a fantastic job. So we really want to thank you for your service, Bruce. And we've got a little card here from
Thank you
each of
very
us,
much.
something to
It's been a real pleasure working with all of you. I think we've got a very cohesive council, judging from the fact, going back to our conversation. I ran unopposed, which is really a disgrace from a community service standpoint. We were embroiled in several big topics, mooring ordinances, upgrading the school system to heat pumps, mining, you know, all that stuff. So there were some exciting things, and I think that my replacement, Zach, will do a good job, and I'll be running against you all in June, so.
Forward to
Be
it.
back.
Well, excellent. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bruce. Oh, sure.
All right.
Question is, who gets out?
Not until you get better.
We're all safe on this month.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, 40560 for labor negotiations. All right, so we have Linda and Andy, all in favor to move into? All are in favor, 7 and 0. So we will open this, close the portion at 6:45. Thank you.
A lung full of Cracker Jacks. Got pneumonia. What oxygen with that?
He's in the waiting room. Let me stop the recording though.